Hello there, I am Presley, and today I will be reviewing The Evil Within 2. Now, in terms of the plot of the game, I'm just going to give a brief description and summary of what happened at the very beginning of the game. Now, the game takes place 3 years after the events of the first game. Once again, you play as Sebastian, who has actually left the Crimson City Police Department after the events that took place at Beacon Mental Hospital. Now we see that Sebastian is still struggling with the guilt of his daughter's death in that house fire that happened just a bit prior to the events of the first game. And after having a dreamlike vision, we see him jolt awake at the booth he's sitting at in the bar he's at. And sitting across from him, we see none other than his former partner and Mobius operative, Kidman. And Kidman explains to him that Lily, his daughter, isn't actually dead, and that Mobius is actually behind the house fire and faking her death. They end up knocking Sebastian out and taking him with them. When he wakes up, he is in a Mobius facility, where he meets the administrator, who explains to him that the reason why they took Lily was to use her as the core to power the STEM system. They explain that they don't know where Lily's gone in there. They've entirely lost track of her. And they've also lost contact of all of the Mobius operatives they've sent in to look for her so far. So, they send Sebastian in, and the first place that Sebastian ends up is in this gallery-type area. And after wandering around for a bit, he walks into a room where he quickly hides himself as he sees this guy rush in there, being quickly followed by another guy with a camera who then proceeds to kill him. Obviously Sebastian's, reasonably concerned that there is in fact a killer on the loose in here. Of course, the guy with the camera thinks he hears something when Sebastian accidentally knocks over a framed photo, so he starts walking that way. After the guy can't find Sebastian, he ultimately leaves, and that's how the game begins. Now let's get into what I think overall. When it comes to the gameplay, I think it is really entertaining and fun overall. In my opinion, both the combat and the stealth are fairly easy mechanics to comprehend and learn fairly quickly when it comes to this game. And I feel like there's quite a few ways you can go about using stealth in this game, which is actually fairly interesting. In terms of the difficulty, I thought that it was a lot easier compared to the first game overall. Now, in terms of the story, I thought it was a really good story overall. I really enjoyed it. Similar to the first game, I was really anticipating what would happen next when I was playing it. In terms of graphics, like I mentioned in my first video, graphics aren't really that important to me when I play games. However, I thought the graphics were really good. I think that they hold up really well. The soundtrack for this game, I adore it. I honestly adore most horror game soundtracks, to be fair, because there's just something about them. I don't know how to explain it. I just normally really love horror game soundtracks. Now, characters. Overall, I think that the overall cast of characters they introduced that are new to this game are all very interesting. Overall, I feel like they're a pretty decent cast of characters to have for this game. It's nice to see Kidman again. It's great to see Sebastian again, obviously. Now, in terms of the antagonists, and yes, I mean antagonists as in plural, there was more than one for this game. They all have unique things about them that make them interesting in their own right, That being said, my favorite out of the 3 antagonists, and one that I kind of wish was just the main game's antagonist overall because of how much I enjoyed his character, would be Stefano Valentini, the first of the 3 antagonists you run into in the game. Now, he's involved from Chapter 1 to Chapter 8, but I would have still loved to have seen his character expanded upon even more. Now on to my overall thoughts about some things. When it comes to the creature designs in this game, I think that they were all phenomenal. I really liked all the unique different designs that some of the creatures had. For example, the Guardian and Obscura, which are 2 creatures that you'll encounter as bosses in Stefano's section of the story, are both really well designed. I love their designs. And Obscura, there's just something about its design that I really love. I think it's that it gives off this overall Silent Hill-esque design to it. Like, you know, it's hard to explain, but it reminds me of something that you'd see in a Silent Hill game, you know? Now, in terms of other creatures, easily the most fascinating one would be Anima, who is a ghost lady that you technically might not encounter on your first playthrough. And what I mean by that is that technically all of her encounters are optional. You could entirely avoid her, and I think that is such an interesting design choice to make it to where one of the most terrifying creatures in your game you may or may not encounter. She's just so unsettling. And I think that her design overall is just a brilliant design for a creature like herself. Just the way that she says Sebastian's name, the way that she sings Clair de Lune, which is the song that's also used as the safe room theme in the first game, is so unsettling. I love how this game wraps up Kidman and Sebastian's stories as characters. I think they wrap up both of their story arcs in a fairly decent way, honestly. To where, you know, Kidman's now free of Mobius and Sebastian now has his daughter, and, you know, while he's now lost his wife, him and Lily, you know, can still try to live some type of normal life out there after all of this. Which overall, I think is a fitting way to end Sebastian and Kidman's story as characters, you know? I really liked it. I do like the fact that this game chose to drop the entirely green gel based upgrade system from the first game and replace it with you using green gel to specifically upgrade Sebastian's abilities, you know, like his athleticism, his stealth, his combat, his health, his recovery, and then, you know, also having weapon pots for what you specifically use to upgrade your weapons. I liked that system a lot better than the system used in the first game. Overall, I think I would give this game an 8 out of 10. I personally really loved it. I found it very entertaining. I had a lot of fun playing it. I honestly just really enjoyed this game overall. Well, I guess this is well in my review. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a fantastic week. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.